guys, Will here with W.T.F Car Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2023 Chevy Silverado RST with the Duramax and 4x4.
And a big thanks to Raul at Furman Chevy in Brandon, Florida for making this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out, and that's for Raul.
And as most of you guys probably know by now, the Silverado replaced the C&K series pickups from Chevrolet back in 1999 for the first generation for the Silverado, second generation for the Sierra, but we're not talking about the Sierra today, just the Silverado. The fourth generation Silverado that you see here was released in 2019, facelifted last year for 2022, featuring a revised front fascia and all new center stack in the interior for all the trims above the LT. There are 4 different engine options for the 2023 Silverado, starting with the 2.7-liter turbo 4-cylinder, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, making a healthy amount of power at 310 horsepower, 420 pound-feet of torque, averaging around 18 to 20 mpgs, and can do 0 to 60 as quick as 7 seconds. You can upgrade to the 5.3-liter V8, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission, now cranking out 355 horsepower, but down to 383 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is also down between 14 to 22 mpgs, and you can expect 0 to 60 as quick as 6.4 seconds. The Beefy engine, my favorite engine, the 6.2-liter V8, is also made it to the 10-speed automatic transmission, cranking out 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, getting between 13 to 20 mpgs, but the 0 to 60 on that thing is quick. It can do 0 to 60 under 5.5 seconds. The 3-liter Duramax that you see here is also made it to the 10-speed automatic transmission, cranking out 277 horsepower, but a beefy 460 pound-feet of torque. Good on gas, good on diesel gas, 20 mpgs to 31 mpgs depending on your driving. Down on acceleration compared to the other power plants at 7.6 seconds with a 0 to 60, but that's still more than quick enough for a truck. The 2023 Silverado work truck with a single cab short bed starts at $36,000. Crew cab starts at $42,000. 4x4 is an additional $3,000, so the cheapest 4x4 work truck you can get with a crew cab starts at $45,000. You can upgrade to the custom at $49,600, the custom trail boss at $51,295. The LT is probably going to be the most common trim purchased by consumers with a base price of $53K. The RST that you see here starts at $55,695 with a 2.7-liter turbo. The LT Trail Boss, also with a 2.7-liter turbo, will start at $57,095. But for the trims, RST and up, you can choose between any engine option, ranging between the 2.7 turbo, 3-liter Duramax, 5.3, or 6.2, any trim above the RST. The LT Trail Boss starts at $57,095. LTZ starts at $59,795. The High Country is the top-of-the-line luxury trim for the 2023 Silverado, starting at $65,095, and the ZR2 is the ultimate top trim off-road oriented Silverado with a base price of $70K. But this is the RST with the Duramax with a base price around $59,000. What else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, you notice your fully redesigned front fascia, fully redesigned last year for 2022, black bow tie with some chrome outside of it, ton of airflow, very beefy looking grille, functional airflow in both corners, LEDs for the high, low beam, and daytime running lights, tow hooks up front, LED fog lights up front too, no front parking sensors. I kind of wish we had front parking sensors, especially considering the Tahoe LS, base Tahoe, gets front parking sensors, so it'd be nice to see them here, but again, not the biggest deal. The wheel and tire setup, I am impressed with them. You get these beefy black 10-spoke 20-inch rims wrapped in Bridgestone Dueler all-terrain tires. Super beefy setup, dimensions being 275/60 R20. It's only a $200 option too for these all-terrain tires, so I would definitely go with that, especially if you go with 4x4. It makes this truck much more off-road capable, almost like a trail boss. Duramax badge, Silverado right underneath it, massive mirrors. But check out the mirrors. One thing I don't like, we get the blind spot pockets for the driver's side, but we don't get blind spot pockets on the passenger. Not quite sure if I could pick it up on camera, but kind of a head scratcher. I would expect to have blind spot pockets for both. Blind spot monitoring would be nice. It is available as an option, just not on this truck. My dad's Longhorn limited edition Ram also doesn't get blind spot monitoring, but he does get pockets for both the driver and the passenger mirror, so kind of head scratcher. Smart access for both of the front passengers, nothing going on out rear. Unfortunately, no running boards either, and with these beefier all-terrain tires, it would be nice to get some running boards because it is about an inch higher off the ground. Blacked out B-pillar and C-pillar, very clean overall look, shark fin style antenna. The gas cap, it's not pushed open, but you don't have a latch inside to pull. Diesel fuel is of course what's required for this Duramax engine. We can take a quick look at the window sticker because I think we almost forgot about it. But for the 2023 Silverado 1500 Crew RST 4-wheel drive, black exterior, jet black interior, Duramax 3-liter turbo diesel, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. I believe it's an Allison transmission too, so different setup compared to the 6.2 and the 5.3. But standard features on a sub $55,000 RST, you can pause, take a look. It comes loaded with standard features. You get the screens, you get full LEDs, auto locking rear differential, 220 amp alternator, truly loaded with all the features you could possibly want or need. Options wise, we got a ton too. $1,000 for the turbo diesel, $800 for these 20-inch rims, $685 for the protection package with the spray-in bed liner and the wheelhouse liners out rear, $620 for the front bucket seats with a center console, $230 for the all-weather floor liners, $200 for the all-terrain tires. We get the $25 credit because we don't get a 120-volt AC outlet for the instrument panel, $50 credit because we don't get the steering column lock. Rest of the features you can pause, take a look. $3,400 in total options, $1,800 for the destination, totals us out a tick over $60K. In my opinion, this truck is basically loaded for the money. 24 combined MPGs, 22 city, 27 on the highway. We already checked out the gas cap, the rear wheel and tire setup. Same thing as up front, only difference is the smaller brake caliper. You can get a good look at the rear suspension. We get leaf springs and dampers. Hopefully I can pick them up for you. They're not the off-road dampers or shocks, but still pretty solid, especially with these all-terrain tires and 4x4. This truck should be surprisingly capable off-road. We get the bumper step, which is a huge thumbs up for me. I think it's one of the smartest designs in all full-size trucks. I love their multi-pro tailgate too, multifunctional tailgate, but we don't get that here for some reason. We got credited about $500 for the Sierra we just reviewed on this channel because it didn't have the multi-pro tailgate, but this thing doesn't even have the multi-pro tailgate on the window sticker, so I just assumed that it was built without it. Shout out Furman Chevy in Brandon, Florida for helping make this review possible. Tow hitch, I'll leave a link right here, show you what this truck is rated to tow. Silverado badge with a Chevrolet etched in the bed, RST badging in the corner. The RS is red and the T is shiny chrome. Out rear, mirror and zone light. No multi-pro tailgate. You press this button and the bed hydraulically damped and it falls right down. We get the spray in bed liner for the bed, screw in bed liner for this little tailgate area. We get the AC outlet for the bed, which is nice, full LED lighting. 12 cargo tie downs too, Chevrolet bow tie right back also in the bed liner. You can see all your floor mats out in the bed too. We can shut this thing right up, take a step back, get a good look at the exhaust tip and rear suspension setup, spare tire too. Speaking of the exhaust tip, let's fire up this 3-liter turbo diesel Duramax and hear how she sounds. All right, guys, that was the sound of the 3-liter Duramax diesel sold by Chevrolet for the 2023 Silverado. It doesn't sound very impressive. It doesn't sound like a V8 or anything like that, but it doesn't sound much worse than like a 2.7 4-cylinder. That's not why you buy this motor anyway. You buy it for the increased torque and fuel economy, cranking out 277 horsepower, but 460 pound-feet of torque, enough to get this truck to 60 around 7.5 seconds while combining for almost 25 miles per gallon. So I understand the price of diesel is like $1.50 more than gasoline these days, but it's still nice to get the additional 5 MPGs nevertheless. Hydraulic struts for the hood, also appreciated. We can shut this thing right up, take a step back, get one last look at the front styling. It's impressive. It has a very bold appearance to it. Personally, I think the GMC Sierra has a little bit nicer of a redesign, but to each their own. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. This is still a really nice truck. Taking a step inside, again, smart access for the front 2 doors. Taking a step inside though, up top, we don't get the leather stitch trim like we did in the Tahoe we just reviewed, but we still get the wood trim beneath that, aluminum underneath, aluminum door handle lock and unlock, leather trim for the armrest, gushy soft touch for the center, auto one touch for the driver, auto one touch down for all 4, but only the driver gets auto one touch for the way back up. 4-way adjustable mirrors, decent storage, leather stitching even for the center. Well, not leather stitching, but faux leather stitching it's nice. We don't get the Bose premium sound system, but it still sounds pretty good for a bass system. 2 cup holders and a very large slot. You can probably stack 2 footlongs on top of each other. Taking a step inside, aluminum kick plate, just cloth seats for the RST. Leather is optional, and on the trims above the RST, leather is standard. But here for the RST, we don't get it. Fully adjustable seats though, lumbar, recline, drop, lift, and slide. Taking a step inside, we can really check out this interior. Again, no running boards, so hopefully you're tall, because otherwise it'll be very tough stepping inside. Check out this little swoop that we get in this infotainment. Wow, that is pretty cool. But taking a step on the brake and on the start stop button, which is right here, everything fires right to life. Cool, hopefully you guys picked up that whole process. Okay, we'll focus our attention on the driving, stay in demo mode. Nice, but first thing we notice, the steering wheel, just like all the other Chevy trucks, really nothing to write home about. It's not very thick, no 10-2 bolstering notch, and a 9-3 doesn't feel that great in your hands. But we do get 3 spokes on the bottom, so you can have your arm on both armrests and on your lap if you want to drive reckless and use the 6 o'clock spoke. Black Chevy bow tie, rubberized horn area, the horn itself, really aggressive sounding horn. People should definitely be getting out of your way. We get paddle shifters too. They only control the low gear, unfortunately, but we still get paddle shifters. And speaking of low gear, we get one for the gear selector, but we do not get 4-wheel drive low. We get 2 high, 4 high, and 4-wheel drive auto. I appreciate the 4-wheel drive auto, but we don't get 4-wheel drive low, but we do get the low gear on the gear selector. Continuing along though, cruise control settings on the left side of the steering wheel, forward collision alert, heated steering wheel. On the right side, voice commands, you can hang up and answer your phone calls. These buttons control your infotainment screen. Right now we're looking at AM, FM, music in general, Bluetooth, Google News, podcasts, and our USB. Navigation with heads up turn by turn. Right now we're looking at a compass because the GPS is not currently activated. We'll open up the maps in 1 second, let it load up in the meantime. Continue along, we get phone settings, overall settings. You can adjust the display for the left side, right side, and the lower gauges. You can configure what exactly it is you're looking at all times. We'll show you guys some of the display adjustments. You can adjust between classic. It takes a second. This is progressive. Cool. This is digital. Nice. And the final screen, which I'm personally not a big fan of, is clean. Just not a whole lot going on. But that's about it. My personal favorites to look at all times would be classic, but progressive is also cool. So if you prefer progressive, if you prefer classic, it's up to you, but I personally prefer the classic. In the classic though, on the left side, we have a 140 mile/hour speedometer, which is interesting. Usually the tacks are on the left side, but the speedometer is on the right. Here, the tach is on the right, the speedometer is on the left. The tach goes to about 5,500 RPM. I don't think this diesel will shift at 5,500. It'll shift closer to 5, maybe like 4,500, but we'll see once you take it out for a drive. And you can see whether you're in 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive next to it too. Fuel range, coolant temperature, and gas level right beneath. The dashboard has more stitched material to it. We don't get a heads-up display in this truck, but it is available as an option. The 13.4-inch touchscreen is also really impressive. 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, but this 13.4-inch touchscreen is phenomenal. Google Maps, unbelievable resolution, unbelievable response. Truly just like an iPhone in terms of response. Huge thumbs up to GM, some of the best screens in the business. Continuing along, we have our trailering mode too. Once it loads up, we can do a trailer light test. Beneath that, we have Bluetooth, navigation right back, and music. It takes a second to load up for some reason, probably because we just started this truck up. But all your music settings, we have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless. My personal favorite though to look at all times would be this map. The volume dial, very satisfying resistance to it, and it's outlined in rubber material. We have some piano black outside of the screens, but you're not going to be touching outside of the screen, so really not much of a complaint. Lane keep assist down below, auto start stop. Our tailgate can be electronically dropped. It can't be lifted back up, but you press a button and drop your tailgate, turn off your traction control, drop all 4 windows at once with a click of a button. Engine start stop, heated seats. You can isolate the back or have the back and butt involved with the heated function. Dual zone automatic climate control too. A little bit of storage, no wireless charging pad here. The wireless charging pad is right back there. Gear selector controls a 10-speed automatic transmission. We can take a quick look at the backup camera. It has very good resolution. It doesn't take up the whole screen, but it takes up about 10.25 inches of the screen at least, with guidance lines and trajectory. You can press this trailer button and it shows you a nice little trailer hitch liner upper. Cool. I prefer the guidance lines. Throw right back into park, and we return right back, or at least we should return right back to our map. A little bit of storage down below, 2 cup holders with pushy things to keep your drinks in place. I'd expect you to fit 16, possibly 20-ounce cups with no issue. Wireless charging pad, as we mentioned. Cushy, soft leather armrest. It is massive. You're fitting 3, 4 full-size arms on this armrest, and the storage capacity is impressive. Right here, this is already more impressive than the storage in my Camaro armrest or center console, whatever you like to call it. Here, you'll fit 4, possibly 5 2-liter bottles of soda in there. You possibly will fit a bowling ball. You get a USB port, USB-C port, and a 120-volt AC adapter. So we did get credited because we're supposed to have one here too, but we still have one in the console, so can't complain too much. We still have one at the end of the day. The glove boxes, we have 2 of them. The top tier is tiny. It's outlined in leather, which is nice, but the storage capacity, really not a whole lot. You'll fit like 3 or 4 pairs of gloves in there, maybe a shoe, but that's about it. The bottom portion, it's larger, but it's still not like best in class. It will fit about 20 license plates. It'll fit a pair of shoes, but really not a whole lot more than that. It's hard plastic on the outside, some more wood trim that runs throughout this interior. The rear view mirror, it's not frameless, but it's a very thin frame, not auto dimming. You gotta pull this little latchy thing to dim the mirror. LED interior light. Hopefully you guys can pick it up on camera. There you go, no moonroof. It's available as an option, but it's not here on this RST. If we didn't mention, to the left of the steering wheel, we also have a drive mode selector and an electronic parking brake. The drive modes include sport, off-road, terrain, and normal mode. We'll start the review off in normal, transition into sport just to see what the differences are. Also, our trailer mode with our exhaust brake. We do have an exhaust brake on this 3-liter diesel. Electronic parking brake too. No power tilt and telescope, but we do have tilt and telescope for the steering wheel, and you can get a good look at the pedals. That's about it for the front seat, guys. Let's hop out back real quick, see how much space is offered back there, and the quality of the materials up top. Same as up front, soft touch for the upper portion, some faux wood trim with aluminum beneath that, aluminum door handle, soft touch for the center, gushy soft for the armrest, stitching even for where your knee will often hit. Massive storage, even more impressive than up front. You'll easily stack 2 footlongs on top of each other, wash it down with a 20-ounce water bottle. Pretty impressive sound system for a base, as we mentioned. The legroom is absurd. It's a full-size truck, we know by now. Really impressive legroom. For some reason, we don't get that secret storage cubby that we had in the GMC Sierra that we just reviewed for the back seat. These seats do lift up, however, and exposes a full flat floor. We don't have that storage cubby like we had in the Sierra, so you can fit a larger sleeping bag and have plenty of space if in an emergency situation you have to sleep in your 2023 Silverado. It takes a little bit of muscle to drop the seats back down. We don't get running boards, but thank God we got this grab handle to help me get into this back seat. But once we're in the back seat, as you see, good gosh, this thing is absurdly spacious. I have over a foot of knee room, unlimited room for my feet, plenty of room for my head, at least 4 or 5 inches of headroom. If you're under 7 feet tall, you'll have no problem sitting back here, I can promise you that. 2 air vents, no third zone climate like we had in the base Tahoe LS. Kind of wish we had that here for a mid-trim Silverado, but at least we have air vents. It's all controlled up front with dual zone auto climate. USB-C port too. Down below, we don't have anything. 2 cup holders with a pass-through, good spot for a phone. Map pockets behind both of the front seats. No cubby for an armrest, but pretty impressive back here. Space is absurd. So if you got to carry around 4 full-size adults at all times, the Silverado will definitely accommodate it for you. We have LED interior lighting. Cool, that's about it for the back seat. That's about it for the inside in general. We'll take one more walk around of the exterior. Very bold exterior, especially with these all-terrain tires, makes everything look a lot beefier. 4x4. It's a nice truck with the Duramax too. Most of the Silverado and Tahoe reviews we've had on this channel have featured either the 5.3 or the 6.2 liter V8s. We have one video with a 2.7 4-cylinder, but for the Duramax, this is one of the first that we're gonna review on this channel. I think the first month of me doing the reviews, I got the chance to review a Sierra Denali with a Duramax. But outside of that, this is really one of my first opportunities to really drive this truck. And speaking of that, let's take it out for a drive. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2023 Chevy Silverado RST with the 3-liter Duramax diesel. And my first impression was the throttle response is good. You don't really notice that it's a turbocharged engine. It makes good power initially, and as soon as the turbo spools up, this thing is gone. 460 pound-feet of torque. We'll have a chance to demonstrate it once we step out into this road. And for a truck, we know this, GM has probably the best steering in most of their vehicles for their segments, but for their trucks, it's just so beyond the competition. About third throttle, yeah, that torque is so impressive. With partial throttle,
you'll be blown away with how this vehicle can build power. With full throttle, it's not going to blow you away. If you want to be blown away, go with the 6.2. The 6.2 will do 0 to 60, could be close to 2 seconds faster than this thing, but half throttle, oh my gosh, yeah. It falls on its face after 3,000 RPM, but from like 1,500 to like 3,500, it pulls hard. You test out the body roll, also ridiculously good for a truck, and we save some weight with this 3-liter diesel compared to the V8 engine's bump. Oh, you feel the bump compared to like a Ram, compared to an F-150. It's similar ride quality, but the handling is so much better than both the Ram and the F-150. Look at that. Basically no body roll, massive bumps. We'll see how it handles them. Boom. Boom. Yeah, you feel them a little bit, but it stays really composed. It's not too much for this truck at all. Body roll, barely any. We'll have a good opportunity to try an acceleration off the line. Let that Jeep get some space. Okay, complete stop. We're not going to brake boost it or anything, just off the line, off the brake, on the gas. Boost. Woo. Ooh, yeah, it shifts at around 3,900 RPM, so not quite sure why the red line has to be at 5,500. And once we're moving, like, very quiet interior, steering feels good and direct. We'll take a step out onto a highway, see if the steering gets a little bit sloppier at higher speeds. Like the ride quality, like, yeah, it's not where this truck shines. Compared to a Tahoe, this is much rougher of a ride quality, but to be expected. We don't get an independent rear suspension in the trucks, we get one in the Tahoes. It still feels more than controlled enough. And since we have a little bit stiffer of the ride quality, the handling for this truck, it makes it feel so much smaller than it really is. This is one of the larger full-size trucks, especially with the crew cab, and it just doesn't feel like it. We'll try it out in sport mode. The throttle feels a little bit more sensitive. The steering feels about the same. Not a whole lot of a difference with the steering. We'll take a step out into this multiple lane highway, see what it's got. As far as acceleration, it looks like we got the chance. Take a step out here and on the gas. Woo! Yeah. Shifting around 4,000 RPM. It feels quick. I'm telling you, it really doesn't feel much slower than a 5.3. I know I said earlier that the 0 to 60 is around 7.6 seconds, but compared to the 5.3 Tahoe we just reviewed in this channel, I'm telling you, this does not feel a whole lot slower. And on the highway, steering, it feels on center too, compared to the Sierra Denali, not the Sierra Denali, the Sierra Elevation with the off-road package we just reviewed in this channel, which also had all-terrain tires. This steering feels more on center, noticeably more on center. As soon as we get the chance, we'll try out a real-world turning radius, try another acceleration run too in sport mode, and I'll catch right back with you. All right, guys, real-world turning radius, we'll check it out. Pretty sharp. I feel like the Tahoe's was sharper, but on the gas. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that it shifts around 4,000 RPM because it does start to fall on its face after about like 36, 3,700, but up until then, it feels strong. If with partial throttle, I'm telling you, it's gonna feel like such a powerhouse. Obviously with full throttle, it just doesn't have that much horsepower. 277 horsepower isn't enough to make a truck feel fast, but 460 pound-feet of torque with partial throttle, you will not be fishing for power at all. So overall, if you're looking for a full-size truck, you want to get a little bit better fuel economy. I understand diesel's $1.50 more expensive than gasoline right now, but it's still a much more efficient vehicle. You will not be going to the gas station nearly as frequently. If that's a positive for you, I guess there you have it. Go with the Duramax. It has really good low-end torque. It's not obnoxiously loud, and the towing numbers are actually just as good as in the 6.2. So you're looking for a towing capable full-size truck. You want to get a little better fuel economy. You want all the features. That's why I'd recommend going with the RST, or at least go with the LT, because you need this trim. The Custom, it's a nice truck, but personally the LT is definitely worth the extra money. The RST on top of the LT now allows you to get all the engine options. You can get the 6.2 if you want, go with a 3-liter Duramax like we have here. But overall, again, you're looking for a full-size truck, crew cab 4x4 with all-terrain tires. This is exactly how I would spec it out. I would also include running boards, but outside of that, that's the only thing I would change about this truck. You're looking for a full-size truck. You want the space, you want the features, and you want good performance in terms of towing acceleration, and fuel economy, I would definitely recommend checking out the 2023 Duramax 4x4 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST. And as always, big thanks to Raul at Furman Chevy for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And that's for Raul. And huge thanks to all of you for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you guys, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.